Hey, what's up, cohorts, young adults, filmmakers? Um, okay, so this has been on my mind. I want to talk about the outline. Before you start writing, you need sort of a map, a roadmap, because you have all these ideas and you have all these choices. So we need to narrow it down, individual choices and selections. And for that, we outline. We outline beat by beat, scene by scene, sequence by sequence, act by act. Everything is outlined. I think I mentioned this before. One way to do it is a piece of paper. Another way to do it, index cards. On one side, you write what the beat is, right? On the other side, you write the charge, what's at risk, the sort of the heart of the scene, of the beat. Okay? That value risk. Remember we talked about those human values at risk? Well, on one side you write what's at stake, and then you move on to the next one. And you're constantly asking yourself those questions. What is the charge at the beginning positive? If it is, what is the charge at the end? Negative. And vice versa. If the charge starts negative, then what is it at the end? Positive. You do that for each individual scene until you've come up with a complete outline. That's the length of the movie that you're writing. So if you're writing, let's say if you're writing a short, you want like 7 pages. So you're going to outline that. I mean, your outline is not going to be 7 pages, but your outline is going to be significantly shorter than if you were outlining a featured film. Okay? So, because remember, for a feature film, you need 3 or 4 acts. For a short, it's only 1 to 2 acts. Very short. Okay, but the principles are still the same. You need to have these. You need to take care of these principles and make sure that their presence is at the forefront in the script, because it's going to drive the story. Okay. So, things to remember in your outline. You don't have to include dialogue, but you're going to put setting, location, descriptions of the action, descriptions of the locations, description of characters. You know, how old are they? What do they look like? These things will briefly inform the script later, and it's going to be your map. Okay, you have to have a map, otherwise you'll get stuck. So if you get stuck in the outlining portion, that's okay, because you're just outlining and you can change things around, you know. But if you start writing without an outline and get stuck, and you start changing things around, well, you change something back here, it might affect something up here. Now you got to go back and rewrite the whole thing, which is not terribly bad, but you know, it's wasting a lot of time when if you just outline it and find out where those mistakes are, or how to make it better in the outline process first. Okay, you can make it a strong outline, a strong story. Make sure you're hitting all those points, making sure that the story is there, you know, in the outline before you start writing. Okay, and then once you have a strong outline, here's what you do. You take that outline and you sort of memorize it. And you're going to reduce it to what's called a pitch. Okay? A pitch with a P. P-I-T-C-H. Pitch. And a pitch is a summary of your movie that can be told verbally to someone. Okay? So let's imagine something. Let's say you have your outline done and it's memorized. And you step on an elevator the doors close, and you go up to the next floor, the doors open up, and your favorite director gets on the elevator. And you're like, oh my God, that's my favorite. That's Steven Spielberg. Okay. So you tell him, hey, Spielberg, man, I love your work. I'm a filmmaker. He's like, oh yeah, really? What are you working on now? What are you shooting now? Okay. That is the moment you give them your pitch. You pitch your idea. Okay. You don't take the whole outline out and, read the outline. No, you give them a summary of the good parts, right? Now, why do I say you have to know your pitch before you start writing? This is why. You're going to learn your pitch, right? Then, you're going to call a friend, an associate, who's also a writer, someone who you respect, someone who you trust, someone who you know is going to give you an honest opinion, and someone who knows something about film. Okay, this is where the workshop comes in handy, because you're in an environment with other filmmakers. Okay, and this is important. You have to memorize that pitch. Pitch it to someone, and then let them ask questions. And based off those questions, you're gonna know if your pitch, your story, your movie idea is ready or not. Does that make sense? You do the outline, you memorize the outline, you reduce it to a pitch, you pitch it to your friends or your cohorts or in the workshop, to someone you trust, someone who's knowledgeable about screenwriting, someone who's going to give you honest feedback. You pitch it to them, right? And once you get the feedback, you make adjustments to your outline, make adjustments to the story, whatever you need to, right? Then you're ready to write. Okay, once you're satisfied, you've pitched and you're satisfied with the response, the feedback that you're getting back from people, that's when you're ready to write. Okay, you don't write a word until then. Okay, also, it is absolutely imperative that you have the proper screenwriting software, because people aren't going to take it serious if you don't. It's just unprofessional. And if the screenwriting is unprofessional on the first look, people will assume that you haven't taken care of the other professional things in the script, like the story. They're gonna like, okay, this guy can't even format a script properly. How am I gonna, how do I know? Am I gonna waste my time and read something if it's not even formatted properly? So it has to be formatted properly. Also, in the next phase, pre-production, if your script isn't formatted properly, we cannot break it down. And we need to be able to break down your script to a schedule to shoot it. So if it's not in the proper script format, it's going to be impossible to break it down. Okay? So you absolutely have to have it in script format. Now, the lucky thing is we have software that puts it in the proper format. Okay? There's Celtx, there's Final Draft. Final Draft is the standard for the studios. But you can get away with Celtx. It's just free. Celtx is a free software that you can use online. I suggest you familiarize yourself with it. It's going to have everything is preset in there for the formatting. It formats your action line, your dialogue, your characters' names, your transitions from scene to scene. It formats everything for you. Okay, so get on the outline, get your pitch, and get on the screenwriting software. All right, and most important, okay, get into the workshop. Okay, I can't tell you how important it is to get inside that workshop and start collaborating and start thinking with other filmmakers and getting feedback on your idea. That's so important. All right, young adults, I'll see you on the next video.